Education Group, Elizabeth office. Today we have privilege of being joined by most qualified and most knowledgeable Mara agent, Mr. Parth Patel. We would be answering two very basic queries that questions that students have these days. In case your student visa is expiring, or in case any visa is expiring and you want to extend your stay in Australia, please stay tuned to this session. We would be covering all the options of visa options that you have, all the course options that you have in case you're planning to apply for your student visa. What are the basic requirements for those visas and how you can be eligible for those visas and how they would benefit you in turn. We would be touch basing all the visas that are there post in case your TR is expiring or in case your student visa is expiring and you just want to extend. So we would be touch basing basic visa, which is your student visa, very popular one, your 485, your 408, 407 visas, 482 visas, 186, 189, 190, and 491 visas as well. In case you have any questions, please do leave in the comment box and we will get back to you as well. So Mr. Parth Patel, would you like to start this session with informing our students about the visa options that they have?
Yeah, sure. Like most of the time, as you might have also seen, most of the time applicants or the students look for a temporary graduate visa. That's a 485 visa subclass, where if any applicant, any student have completed a 2 years of course, at least 2 years of course, they can possibly qualify under temporary graduate visa, which probably provide them in between 18 months to 4 years of visa. It can be more. Even in the cases where if applicant is Hong Kong passport holder, they can get that visa for 5 years. Or people who have studied in regional area, they can get extension of probably 1 year or 2 year, depending on where they have studied and lived. So 485 visa is most general visa where most of the students after completing initial 2 years of study, they qualify for that visa. Under which there are two different streams. One of them is like post-study work stream, where any student who have completed a course which is at a level of at least a bachelor's degree, bachelor's level or higher level, they can possibly qualify for at least 2 years of temporary visa. And if the other category is temporary graduate visa, where students who have completed at least 2 years of study, but probably at a level below a bachelor's degree, or if they arrived or they entered Australia or they applied for the first student visa before 16th of November 2011, they can only qualify for temporary graduate visa, which is for 1.5 years. So for that visa, you still require 2 years of study, but then you can get 1.5 years of visa where you can enhance your employment skills. Probably you can look for an employment workplace over here. So that skills you can gain and you can probably use it back home. So that's the most common visa most of the students apply. The only concern is if in this two years of time, because most of the students also try and look for permanent residency options. But in that case, cases where in this 2 years of time, if you are not able to get any, or if you're not able to achieve your permanent residency during that 2 years of time, then you can probably also look at some other visas. As of now, you might have seen that the skilled visa category, like employer sponsored or the skilled independent 189 visa or the state sponsored visa, you might have seen that the number of applications being invited under the GSM contested visa are much more lesser. And that's where people are still, their visas are expiring soon probably, and that's where they have to extend their visa. And that's where we are going to talk about what are the possible options you can have if you can't get permanent residency during that period of time. So these are the main, the 485 is the main visa which most of the students apply for. That's like after completion of the course. But apart from that, if you are already on a 485 visa and if it is expiring soon, then you can probably look at first, among the first application which you can look at is applying for a student visa, where you have to take admission into any course and you have to study over here. That way you can still get some time probably, or you also achieve your skills at the same time.
When it comes to student visa, that's a very basic visa that most of the students apply when their TR is expiring. COVID, in short, have hit the industry so badly that it has affected international students the most. International students might not have been able to gain that practical exposure or the industry exposure while they are still on their temporary visas or temporary graduate visas, that they still need certain time or extensions over here, or they want to enhance their skills. Now, student visa is a best option when you want to enhance your skills academically as well. There are very different options when it comes to student visas. Basic documents required for the student visas are very simple, guys. First of all, you need to be enrolled. So a COE is a very basic document that's required, or a proof of enrollment that you're currently enrolled with a provider, your identity documents, your qualification documents. Now, depending on the provider, there would be fund requirements as well associated along with it. So in case you're going with level 1 providers, the fund requirement is not a mandatory document. However, case officer might come back and ask you for it as well. Then comes your health cover. As you are an international student, you're required to maintain your overseas student health cover as well. It's a mandatory document which is required while you are applying for your student visas. Then comes your GTE, genuine temporary entrant, where a student is judged based on different criteria, whether what their qualification background is, how this qualification would help them out in their future, how will they recoup the profits, or how will they recoup the amount that they have spent on their qualification by working or by doing business, how this is beneficial for you in your future, what are your ties back in your home country as well. So GT is a very important document that's required for your student visa. So always contact a qualified agent, a MARA agent. They know the documents, they know what to write, and they can advise you in a very better manner how to write a good GT. Then comes your English test result. With most of the providers, because you've already studied in Australia, they could be available when it comes to English test requirements as well. However, the basic English requirements are sufficed by most of the students that we have encountered. Now, we have seen a trend among the students that when they are lodging their TR or post-expiry of their TR, when they're lodging their student visas, they are going ahead with very general courses, which is Diploma of Leadership Management, Advanced Diploma of Leadership Management, Diploma of Project Management, Advanced Diploma of Project Management. However, guys, when it comes to student visas and when it comes to your course progression, a course should be chosen very wisely. You are going to spend that money on yourself. You're going to enhance those skills. So in case you have already completed a bachelor's level course or a diploma level course, it's always advised to upgrade your qualification. So let's assume you've already completed bachelor's. In that case, you are advised to go ahead with a master's course. Let's assume you have already completed your master's. You have an option of going ahead with master's by research or PhD level courses. You also have an option of doing master's course with dual specialization or with picking up a certain specialization that you have done. Let's assume you have done IT, which is a very common course that students are doing these days. Now, that's again a popular course. In case you want to enhance your skills further, you can choose Masters of Software Engineering. Now, Torrance University is offering up to 30% scholarship for their Brisbane campus as well. And for other campuses, they are offering 15% scholarship when it comes to their master level courses. They have a trimester system. So your study gets distributed among all the 3 trimesters, and you can very easily pay the money as well as pay your fees, as well as study in a very proper manner. They have specialization as well when it comes to your software engineering. Then comes your health sector students. When it comes to health sector students, you have an option of going ahead with any science-related courses. Opt for Masters of Nursing, opt for Masters of Lab Technology or Lab Medicine. You can also opt for courses like Masters of Public Health Advanced. So rather than opting for leadership management courses, these courses, they have a better future for you, and they could offer an alternate career pathway for you when it comes to these courses. Now, lab medicine is again a very popular course, which most of the students, they avoid taking it just because of the fee structure. However, guys, with these courses, there are scholarships offered which are purely academic. So if you have very good, strong academics, you can contact the counselors and they would be able to help you out. Certain universities offer up to 35% of scholarship as well. Now, there are Dean scholarships that are also offered for these courses by different universities. In case you are very strong academically, you have a very strong community presence, you have helped the community, Dean scholarship would be a very good option for you. Then comes your Masters of Business Analytics extension courses. In case you have done your Masters of Business, or you have done your IT, or you are from any different background as well, you can opt for Masters of Business Analytics extension courses. You can opt for Masters of Business or Masters of Data Analytics as well. Now, these courses, they offer a very good career future for you. So in case you know that your previous qualification was not up to the mark, that you can get a good job or you can progress in your career, you can always opt for these courses. They are available with major universities. They are available with Kaplan Business School. They are available with Torrance universities, which have presence all across Australia. And these universities, they offer scholarships as well. Their recent intakes are still open, guys. So in case you have missed on to the March intake, please do know March intakes are still open for Kaplan and Torrance University and Holmes as well. So these providers which offer master's program with scholarship at a very reasonable price, at a very reasonable fee, they're still open there and they would be accepting their applications till March end. So in case you have not yet applied, please do apply for these courses. Now let's move on further. In case you are from an engineering background, rather than opting for a project management course, why don't you opt for Masters of Engineering Management? These courses offer a very good value to you in future. You can, in case you are from a civil background, you can opt for Masters of Construction Management as well. In case you are from a teaching background, or you are from a business background, or you have done any studies in Australia, you can opt for teaching studies as well. So you can go ahead with Masters of Teaching. These courses are available in regional campuses as well. Most of the universities are offering these courses, with their July intake being the next intake with scholarships as well. You can very easily meet the academic requirements. In case you have already done bachelor's in Australia, which is like a 3 years qualification, so you can opt for graduate diploma of early childhood education. Now that'll make your qualification a 4-year qualification, and if I'm not mistaken, that can be assessed as a pre-primary teacher as well. So these are a very good career pathways, guys. In case you want to shape your career, you can contact the counselors, you can contact a Mara agent, and they can shape a very good career pathway for you and have your future planned in a very nice manner. In case you don't want to spend on masters, go ahead with graduate diplomas. They are at a very good AQL level as compared to diplomas and advanced diplomas. Now they are 1-year qualification. You can go ahead with graduate diplomas in business with specialization in marketing, enterprise system, HR, or supply chain management. You can also go ahead with graduate certificates in strategic management or strategic procurement. Now this course, even if it's at graduate certificate level, it's still for 1 year. So there, you guys have better chances of getting your visas granted when it comes to student visas. However, I've seen that certain students are still reluctant and they want to opt for bachelor's. There's no hard and fast rule that you cannot do bachelor's. So in case you have already done your master's, but you still want to start from a very basic level of qualification, you can opt for bachelor's as well. There are different courses that are being offered: Bachelors of Early Childhood Education, Bachelors of Social Work. You can opt for these courses, Bachelors of Business. TAFE SA is offering up to 100% of scholarship for their July intake for their regional campus for Bachelors of Tourism. Now, tourism and event management. You can opt for that course for their regional campus. You would be able to, in case you're still on your student visas, I would advise opt for that course, because as Parth said earlier, you have a benefit of getting an extra TR or extra post-study work rights post-completion of your bachelor's. You can complete your bachelor's over there with scholarship and have an extra time in your hand to gain that industry exposure in Australia. Still, in case you feel that you cannot go ahead with bachelor's, you can go ahead with diploma and advanced diploma level qualifications as well. However, before we move on to diploma and advanced diploma level qualifications, let's search out what other options a person has apart from the student visa option. Parth, would you like to continue further? What all options are there apart from a TR and a student visa for an international student over here in Australia?
Yeah, sure. So apart from the student visa and temporary graduate visa, you can, depending on what's your plan, probably depending on that, you can look at some other options. One of the option is 407 visa, which is a training visa. So if you wanted to enhance your skills, probably in your chosen field, in your nominated occupation, or probably for your occupation to be registered over here, if you wanted to work over here and registration is a mandatory requirement, and for that you wanted to build your skills probably, then also you can look at this 407, a training visa. So a training visa can be granted for up to 2 years of time. In order to apply for this visa, the minimum requirement from your side is that you require relevant qualification to be completed within last 2 years, or at least 1 year of full-time experience in that nominated occupation. So for example, if you say you wanted to extend your visa, you wanted to enhance your skills in probably occupation such as accountant, then you have to prove that you at least have relevant qualification completed within last 2 years of time, or you have at least 1 year of full-time experience within last 2 years. If you don't have 1 year full-time experience, but if you have 2 years part-time experience, that is still considered as 1 year full-time. So you can apply 407 visa with that, so that that visa can be granted for up to 2 years, depending on how many months of training plan you are providing. So you have to provide a structured training plan where you have to state in which month, which quarter, what skills you are going to get, or what skills your employer is going to train you. Depending on the training plan, you will get the visa. So if training plan is, say, for example, for 1 year, you can be granted for visa for up to 1 year and 2 months, 2 months more than the structured training plan. So there is very good visa in a way where, for example, there is another employer-sponsored visa category called 482 visa, TSS, temporary skill shortage visa, where you require at least 2 years of full-time experience. And if suppose you don't have that much of time, you are left with just 1 year of temporary visa. You got a job now, you work for 1 year, you can qualify for 407. So instead of going for some other visa, which probably when you are looking at probably studying, you will just have a part-time work rights. But instead of that, you can go for a 407 visa, which gives you full-time work rights, and you can complete remaining 1 year of experience. So 1 year you have one suppose temporary visa, and then 1 year you work on your training visa. Combined of that, you will have 2 years of experience, and that will help you to apply for 482 a temporary skill shortage visa that can lead to permanent residency depending on your occupation. So 407 visa helps you in terms of enhancing your skills and probably also to meet your to meet the eligibility for the 482 employer sponsored visa option. Apart from 407, because this visa requires employer sponsorship as well. So if your employer is not happy to train you, probably or not happy to sponsor you, then this visa you can't apply. So you need employer to sponsor you as well for this visa, and you have to provide a structured training plan saying that what skills you already have and what skills you are after, what skills your employer is going to train you so that you will become more qualified, something like that. So that's 407 visa. If you don't have any employer, you can't apply for that visa. That's the only restriction with this visa. Secondly, 408 visa, it's also a temporary work visa. It's like if you are here in Australia for some temporary activity, just an example, probably for some ritual activities or probably for playing any sport over here, something like that. That's a short stay temporary activity visa, where since last year, March, there is one category in this 408 visa, which is known as government endorsed activities. So if there is any activity which is endorsed by the government, then you can apply under this category. So last year, because of COVID, department announced that people who are stuck over here and cannot travel overseas, or people who are working under some critical sectors, they can apply for this 408 visa. Now, people who are stuck over here, department is granting them visa for some less period of time. Maximum period of time which department can grant you 408 visa is for 1 year. But department nowadays, they are granting just for 3-4 months of time maximum, because depending on the COVID situation, because it looks like that there are not many cases out over here, and then probably because vaccines are also out. So department, they are only processing applications, and they are only providing the visa probably for the duration of 2 months, 3 months of time. If you are working under critical sectors such as aged care, probably nursing, health-related occupations, childcare, probably, in that case, department is granting visa for up to 1 year of time so that you can continue providing your support so that it can contribute to Australian economic recovery, probably, or mainly the COVID recovery. So 408 visa, the good thing is it's free of cost. Maximum period of visa you can get is for 1 year of time, but at least it will help you to stay over here and you can work in the same occupation probably, and then you will have time to work on other things as well. So that's also a good option. So 408, 408, 407, 408, these are the two temporary visa. Doesn't lead to PR, but it gives you time, it gives you full-time work rights, so you can stay over here and you can work over here. Considering your occupation is in critical sector, then only you will be granted with work rights under 408 visa. 407 visa always comes with work rights, depending on what training plan, what kind of contract, employment contract you have provided to the department. So these are the two visas which at least gives you some time and full-time work rights probably, and time to enhance your skills. Apart from that, the other visa which you can look at is 482 visa, TSS, temporary skill shortage, where if any employer says we have a shortage of some your skills probably, and if they wanted to sponsor you because they are not able to find right candidates who are permanent residents or citizens, then in that case employer can probably sponsor you as an qualified skilled applicant. But for this visa, you require at least 2 years of full-time experience in your occupation, then only employer can sponsor you. And your occupation must be on the department's occupation list. There are 3 occupation lists: medium to long-term skills, strategic occupation list, short-term skilled occupation list, and regional occupation list. So your occupation must be on this list. Otherwise, even if your employer wanted to sponsor you, even if they need you, they cannot sponsor you. In that case, there is another visa 494, which is regional employer sponsored visa, where there are more occupations to choose from. So in that case, your occupation, if it is not on the standard occupation list, probably for 494, there are some additional occupation list. The difference is you have to find employer based in regional area. Otherwise, you can't access that occupations which are specifically made for 494 visa. So these are all 407, 482, 186, 494. These are 4 employer sponsored visa categories where you need employer to sponsor you and you need some skills in order to get that visa. 407, least experience is 1 year. 482, 2 years. 186 and 494 visa requires at least 3 years of full-time experience. So these are all employer-sponsored visa. If you are working in the relevant field, probably your employer may be able to sponsor because they probably also know that they can't afford to lose you probably because they are not able to find people who are qualified and skilled, probably trained by them. And that's where if they wanted to hire a new person, they will have to probably spend some more time training the other people as well. And if you don't have visa, probably you have to depart as well. So they can't lose you that way. So that's where employers, probably if you speak with them, they may be also able to sponsor you. That's about employer-sponsored visa. Any?
Yes. Before we move further, we have few questions that we would like to be answered. Now, this is a question by Subhikya. Parth, I think you would be the best person to answer that. How long for 187 visa employed sponsored visa?
Look, 187 visa as of now, new applications can't be made because that application, that visa is closed to new applications. However, you can apply under the grandfathering arrangement where if you held or applied for a 457 visa, or suppose until I think 2019, this RSMS, that's 187 program was open. So if you are applying under transition stream, then you can apply for 187 visa, but then otherwise you can't apply. 187 processing time, I have seen it depends on the occupation as well, because recently you might have seen the department created one occupation list called Priority Migration Skilled Occupation List, PMSOL, where currently I think there are 17 occupations. If your occupation is part of that, then your application will be assessed on high priority. So that can be processed within a day, week, month of time, because we have seen some applications have been opened by the department within a day of time as well. If your occupation is not part of that, the standard processing time you can consider in between 4 months, 6 months to 8 months of time, unless if they requested for additional documents and you are not able to provide, or you have taken some time to provide the documents, then it may get delayed further. Or if you haven't provided requested documents, probably medical examination or anything else depending on the requirement, then it may take longer. Otherwise, if you have submitted decision ready application, then it's considered it's pretty quick. Depends on the occupation, depends on the employer, depends on the workforce of the employer as well. So multiple factors are involved in the process, but consider standard processing time in between 4 to 8 months of time.
I hope so, Bigya, we were able to answer your question. In case you still have any queries, you can have an appointment with our Mara agents and they would be able to have one-on-one chat with you, understand your scenario, understand your situation, and guide you better as well. Moving further, Deepak Nayak has a question. What if my 485 visa is expiring on masters? Can we take diploma? Yes, Deepak, you can take diplomas as well. There is no hard and fast rule that you cannot opt for diplomas. However, there are different types of diplomas based on your qualification. Now, let's assume, because I'm not sure if you have done masters in accounting or IT, but if you have done masters in accounting, you can go ahead with diploma of banking services. Now, there's a diploma of banking service management that's available. You can opt for that diploma. Let's assume you're from an electrical and engineering background. You can opt for advanced diploma of telecommunication network engineering. Now, that diploma gets assessed in itself and you do not need any work experience to get that qualification assessed. So that will serve as an additional PR pathway for you. Suppose you are from an accounting field, you can opt for advanced diploma of civil construction design as well, because that gets assessed as a civil draftsman. So rather than opting for leadership management or any small courses, you can opt for courses which are there and have a better PR pathway for you. Let's say you want to progress your career in social work or community services, or are working as a youth worker, you can opt for diploma of community services as well. If you want to work as a tutor, you can opt for diploma of early childhood education as well. So even if you have completed your masters, there are different programs that are available at diploma or at advanced diploma levels, which are very beneficial for you. In case you do not want to do these courses, you can always opt for diploma or advanced diplomas in social media marketing. Now, these diplomas, they are available at a very reasonable price of $9,000 per year. So this is a very reasonable fee. And with the WET providers, you have a monthly payment plan or a quarterly payment plan available. So it'll be a very good option for you in case you want to opt for diplomas. There are various options that are there. You can get in touch with any of our counselors. We can arrange a meeting and you can sit with them and have one-on-one chat to discuss as to what diploma would be best suited for you. We have a question from Sagar Vikaria, that can I switch to master's by research study? Can I switch my master's by research study to any other master's degree? Well, there are two aspects associated with it. First, yes, you can change your master's by research program to a master's level qualification. However, because your work rights would be changing, Mr. Parth would be in better position to answer if you need to lodge a new visa in that case.
Look, generally, as I think masters by research comes at level 9, I guess, right? So when you have looked at your visa conditions states that you have to continue a course which is at a same level or at a higher level. That means if you're doing a master's degree by research, you are required to do master's degree by research or a PhD qualification. If you're saying you wanted to switch to master's, normal master's degree such as master's by coursework, in that case, you are generally required to apply for a new student visa because earlier department assessed your application on the grounds that you stated that you wanted to study master's degree by research. And based on that, they might have probably processed your application at less scrutiny. And that's where they could have granted you visa. I mean, just an example I'm saying. So department says that if you are switching your course to a low level course, then you are required to apply for a fresh student visa application. So if you are saying you wanted to switch from masters by research to another masters by research, just changing your major probably or changing the course, you can do that without applying for a new fresh application. But if you are saying you wanted to lower down your course from masters by research to something else, then you have to apply for a fresh student visa application. If it is granted, you can do that. If it is not granted, you are required to continue doing masters by research. If you are not doing that, then if department find out, then they can cancel you. They can send you a cancellation notice of your student visa application. So it depends on that.
So I hope we were able to answer your query, Sagar, because yes, you can opt for a change of course. However, a new visa is required. And in case where a new visa is required, guys, you have to understand there would be different requirements that would be associated along with it. We did have a question where they asked whether my TR is expiring or whether you are from Bachelors of Accounting background and you wish your TR is expiring, what options you have? Well, primarily you have an options of doing Masters of Business. You have an option of having a dual specialization, Masters of Business Administration and Masters of Professional Accounting with Holmes Institute as well. You also have an option of doing Masters of Business Information Systems. You can opt for a different field as well. If you want to do teaching, you can opt for Masters of Teaching or Masters by Nursing as well. Because Masters by Nursing and Masters by Teaching would accept students from non-cognate background into their programs. In case you are wondering if you want to do social work, in case you have 1 year of work experience in your social work field, you can opt for Masters of Social Work as well. So there are different options that are available once you complete your Bachelors of Accounting. And as we discussed earlier, in case you want to opt for diploma level qualifications, you can opt for Advanced Diploma of Civil Construction Design. There are few units of accounting that match into that program. So it would be a very good way out for you to try a different pathway, which is assessed as a civil draftsman. So you have different options available when it comes to Bachelors of Accounting. Before we answer further questions, guys, I would like Mr. Parth to continue with our session, and then we'll take over the questions one by one.
Right. So apart from that, the other options we have discussed about, apart from that, if you can also see whether you can qualify under the GSM, the point tested visas, because sometimes you might have your English, your probably skills assessment, or you are probably qualifying for the skills assessment, which is a mandatory requirement in order to apply for GSM, like the 189, 190, 491 options, but you haven't probably got your skills assessment. I have seen also people who are suppose working in the same occupation in regional areas, and they don't know about the program that, say, for example, if Victoria is sponsoring people saying if you are working in regional area, we can sponsor you. But if you don't know about the program, or if you don't have a skills assessment, you can't possibly qualify or you can't apply for the program. So it's always better that you can also look at the state sponsored visa, the 189. 189, it's a bit tricky nowadays because department is only selecting limited people. but you can target the state-sponsored visa. The state-sponsored visa, they still got very good quota compared to last year. Department has reduced lot more quota under other sectors, but then for state-sponsored visa, the quota is pretty much similar to last year, and that's where you can target the state-nominated visas. But then for that, basically you need 3 things. That is your English minimum requirement is at least having 6 each. More if you have, then it's better for sure. Apart from that, another basic requirement is you need a skills assessment. So you have to probably see what kind of occupation you are nominating, which is the skills assessment authority, and what are the requirements. If you are meeting the requirement, it's better to have your skills assessment handy, because in future, if suppose any state have opened the program for the state nomination, and by that time you apply for skill assessment, and by the time you get your skill assessment, if the program is closed, you may lose that opportunity. So it's always better to have your skill assessment handy, because skill assessment is anyway valid for 3 years of time, unless it is specifically specified that it's valid for 2 years, then it's valid for 2 years. But otherwise, most of the time in 2 years, 3 years, and now you might have also heard, or you might have seen that department, they are getting information. They are trying to get information from stakeholders, asking that how the program should be reformed. And it looks like department, they are going to increase the quota for most of the visa categories. So if you have your skill assessment ready, if a new option comes up, you can at least apply for the state nomination or whatever the options you have. But if you don't have the basic requirements, you can't apply for that options as well without having that. By the time you get that, you might be late. So it's always better at least to see whether you can get skill assessment, and at least you meet the minimum requirements for any of these program. If any state sponsorship program is open up, or if family sponsorship option is open, you can probably apply for that categories. So these are the GSM visas which you can look at. Probably invitations are nowadays a bit difficult to get, but at least you can have your other things ready. So you can look at that options probably from July onwards.
So guys, we have covered a lot today. We have covered what courses you can opt for. We have covered what options you have, but there are still a lot of information which might not be easy for you all to grasp. You can always have an appointment with our MARA agents and QAC certified counselors. We can sit, have a chat with you, understand your profile, and guide you better when it comes to your qualifications. Now, we do have a question where they're asking that, yes, I've done Bachelors of IT, or my wife's done Bachelors of IT. What is the best option suited for you? Well, it depends. In case you want to progress into IT itself, you can opt for specializations. You can opt for Masters of Software Engineering. You can opt for Masters of IT with specialization. Now, there are different specializations: ICT, Business Management, Cybersecurity. So you can opt for these courses. Still, March intake is available. So it's always advisable when your visa is expiring, don't start studying after your visa is expiring. Always start studying before your visa is expiring. It gives a good profile that, yes, you were genuinely interested in studying and you were not waiting for your visa to be expired to start studying. So still, if you're not enrolled and your visa is expiring April, May, or June, best is to get enrolled for the March intake. At least you would have covered one semester while your visa would be processed. It'll give a very good outlook to it'll be a very good point from a GT point as well, in case you are planning to study or get your student visa extended. You can opt for Masters of Business Information Systems, or you can opt for Masters of Data Analytics as well. Data Analytics is again a very popular course and has a very good future pathway over here. And it has an even better career pathway. So guys, there are different options that are available that you can opt for. In case there are many students who come to us, they are from agriculture background. Though they have studied different courses over here, still they want to study agricultural courses. Now, guys, in case you already are from an agriculture background, you already have a work experience in that, you can opt for different visas, which MARA agent can guide you. Otherwise, you can opt for Diploma of Horticulture or Diploma of Production Horticulture, which gets assessed as a crop farmer. So these courses are really relevant to your future career and very good future pathways for you. If you want to progress, if you're really interested into agriculture, you can opt for these courses. And these courses are available at a very minimal fees. These courses are also available in regional Australia. So you can opt for these courses, study over there, and pave your pathway into agriculture with these courses. We have different options available when it comes to your expiry. So guys, in case your visa is expiring, please do get in touch with us. We would be able to answer all your queries, help you out in future. I do know we might have missed on a few of the questions, but yes, guys, please don't be disheartened. We would be answering to those questions personally. And in case you want an appointment, you can just leave a text or call us up in our offices in any of the city that you're located in, and we would be able to answer them. Guys, please do note Aussizz is opening another branch. Now we are having an Hawthorne office as well in Victoria. So in case you guys have missed on to that update, we are opening another branch. We are expanding, and we are expanding just for you guys. So we are there to help you out every single time. In case you're not able to visit us, you can give us a call, you can video chat with us, and we can guide you better. So guys, please stay tuned to Aussizz page, stay tuned to our PT tutorials app, and we would be able to assist you out with every single step that you take towards your career and future. See you guys, take care, and have a great life ahead. Please do stay in touch with Aussizz Group, because we are there to shape your future.
Thank you.
Thank you.